Well, like many of you, I own quite a few knives. Now, this is just a small sampling of them. I'm just using these as props, just to show you the variety of knives I have. Everything from, handmade Damascus type blades to cheap Pakistani steel. Who doesn't own a cheap Pakistani Tonto, right? And my better knives, my Schrade Walden. This was my dad's great hunting knife. I don't use it too much. It's more sentimental than anything else, as well as fillet knives, Gerbers, cold steel, some really good stuff. I even own the ubiquitous Buck 110. As you can see, has a lot of miles on it. Got this knife when I was about 16. The classic whitetail knife from Minnesota and other parts of the United States. Probably the most recognized knife probably in the United States, to be honest with you. But what this video is really about is a review on a knife that has become my go-to knife. And I mean everything from 99% of my work in the kitchen to utility work out in the field, and even skinning animals. So with that, let's just get on with it, shall we? And we'll do the review. Today we're going to be doing a review of the Morakniv Companion. This is the carbon steel version of the knife. It also comes in a stainless steel version. It's made in Sweden in the town of Mora. It is listed as an entry-level knife, which means it's very basic, I guess, because as a cutting instrument, it's top-notch. And this has been my personal knife for many years now. About 11 years I've been using this knife. I did not buy this knife just to review it. As you can see, if I move closer, if the camera will focus, you can see how tarnished this blade is and all of the nicks and scrapes on the handle. This is my own personal knife, and I use it all the time. This is my go-to knife in the kitchen and in the field. It's such a great little knife. I didn't plan on it being that way. This knife was given to me, and I just started using it, and it just became my go-to knife. It did everything so well. Everything from slicing meat in the kitchen and vegetables to it actually helped skin a bear that I shot, kind of incidentally, one day that was breaking into cabins. And I wasn't really prepared to go. I wasn't going hunting. I was out checking the berry crop, and had to shoot this bear. And this helped make the process of getting that bear out of the woods a lot easier. This knife is, like I said, it's no great thing of beauty really, other than it will grow on you as you use this knife. It has a 4-inch blade. It's 8.5 inches overall, give or take. It's probably not exactly what the specifications say, but that's what I measured it out to be. The blade has a Scandi grind to it, which makes it really easy to sharpen. It doesn't have can't think of the word right now, concave or convex grind to the blade. You can sharpen this knife with just about any sharpening tool, and because it is carbon, it sharpens very easily compared to stainless steel. I know a lot of people like stainless steel because it holds an edge longer and is sharp, but it's also harder to sharpen once it does get dull. So I prefer carbon steel blades. The tarnish on the blade doesn't bother me at all. It's just kind of history. The spine of the blade is 80 thousandths thick, which is really ideal for skinning and cutting. It's just the right width. It's not too thick. It cuts very straight. This knife is made in Sweden, in the town of Mora. Morakniv and Frost's, two knife makers in Mora, merged a number of years ago. Mine actually says Frost's on it, so this knife was made before the merger. But it's still the same family-owned business, and they put out a really great product. This knife today in well, I'm going to be shooting this over a couple days, so the day isn't really important as much as the year. 2018, Amazon Prime. This knife sells for $12.30, and it is worth more than that. The regular price is $19.99, and it's still worth more than that. You can get a lot less knife for $19.95 or $19.99, and this knife will just prove itself to you over and over and over again, whether you buy the stainless or the carbon steel version. So let's get on with the review. Just going to put it through a few quick tests for you, and we'll just see how it performs. Well, I had to cut, kind of, no pun intended, I had to cut the paper cutting segment down a little bit because during the process of cutting the paper, I was letting my blade get a little too close to where I was holding the paper, and look what happened. I gotta tell you, this knife sliced through my finger just lickety-split. So we know that it'll cut paper, and it will cut flesh, and we're going to cut a little wood here in a second. Although I'll tell you that I do not consider this a bushcrafter style knife. The Mora Companion, or the morakniv Companion, is what they call an entry-level knife. I'm not exactly sure what that is, because let me tell you, it sure worked like a professional there, you know. But this is their very basic model. Like I said, with a spine thickness of 80 thousandths. It's really not robust enough to be batoning through logs and stuff like that. And I just would not use this knife for that unless I had no other choice. But since we know that it will cut paper and we know that it will cut flesh, let's go ahead and see if we can't get some curly cues and some fire starting material off this. Now I'm going to do it a little bit differently because I want to keep my thumb from opening back up. The crazy glue is working, but if I keep moving it, it's gonna let go on me, and I'll keep bleeding. And I just assume to just not have to keep running into the house. But as you can see, it's cutting through the wood, no problem. This is spruce, by the way, white spruce, and it's making fire starting material, no problem. So I would have no problem at all using this to cut small branches and get my fire starting material going, as well as cutting meat for dinner and dividing your paper plates and your writing paper in half. Let's try cutting a variety of rope. Here we have some hemp rope, actually, and let's just see what this knife will do with this. Not too bad. Let's try some of this. Here we got some braided nylon. Let's find an end. Can we find an end? Here's an end. Take a little whack off her, shall we? Piece of cake. Let's find something else to cut. Let's see what happens with this heavy piece of cowhide. This is about a 14-ounce leather that you'd use for like saddle skirting, something like that. Very heavy-duty stuff. Let's just see here what she does. Not too shabby. Took a few strokes through there, but it's heavy stuff, heavy dense stuff. Let's go on to the next test. Well, that'll conclude our little review of the Swedish Mora. And I didn't put it through a torture test. I didn't try to demolish this knife or destroy it, obviously, because this is my knife. And I didn't think it was necessary for me to do that in order to recommend this knife to you. Really, my recommendation should be enough. I really do honestly use this knife every day. It's well worth the money. It's so affordable, I can't see how you wouldn't want to have one just for the sake of having one, but you'll find that it's actually got a purpose. And since they're so affordable, you can buy a couple of them. Keep one in the truck, keep one in your day pack, keep one in the kitchen, Have one in pretty much every corner of your life, and you'll always have an extremely good knife that you can go to that'll handle a lot of different tasks, including skinning game. This would make an excellent standalone hunting knife. So with that, there is a link at the bottom in the description area. I highly suggest that you check out Amazon and their amazing prices and free shipping to most places, and just buy a couple of these. They make great gifts. They're functional, they're durable, they just plain out work, and you can, like I said, you can spend a lot more money and get a lesser knife, and you can spend the same amount of money and get a much lesser knife. This is just a bargain coming and going. So with that, I'll conclude this. Check out that link down below and just give the knife a try. I know you'll like it. Thanks for watching.